All right, Melbourne, put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Bron Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming out. I'm thrilled to be here because my kids aren't, and that is really good for me. That's great for me. Give me a cheer if you've got kids. Oh yeah, heaps. Okay, all right. And give me a cheer if you don't. Okay, it's a bit smug. You didn't bring a chair, did you? You're just sitting on a pile of cash. With your tight little punaan. I've never said that word before in my life. So sorry. It's a wonderful way to start it. I've got 3 kids myself. Don't be jealous. I've got 3 kids. That's too many, isn't it? 3, it is too many. I've got 2 girls that are 9 and 11, and then a little boy who's just turned 4. Yeah, big gap there. Big gap. You'll notice that. And that is because we thought 2 kids was enough. We thought that for ages because we were the first couple in our friendship group to have kids. You know, there's one couple in the friendship group that has kids first. Yeah, was that you, girl? I'm so sorry. And there's that one couple who gets pregnant first, and all the other friends are going, "Wow, that is awesome. We're right behind you. We'll do that." And then the baby comes, and then all the mates go, "Oh, we might just have a dog, actually." When our first baby was born, us and our friends, all of us were like, "What the fuck is that?" And my partner Lucas and I, we were so smug about it. We were like, we are the first people in the world to ever have a baby. Like, we are incredible. Look at this. There's going to be an Australian story on ABC made about us. We're like, this is amazing. And then we're so up ourselves about it, we had another one really quickly. And then we were like, we've got kids. That's plural. Holy shit. We were so up ourselves. We were going to cafes. And we were going, table for 4, please. 2 adults, and wait for it. You're never going to believe this. 2 children that we made. The wait staff were like, we couldn't give a fuck. We thought we were amazing. And then our friends were like, are you going to go for a third? A third? Are you going to have a third? What about 3? Number 3, you're going to go for the third? And we were like, 3 kids? Are you okay? Like, that's impossible. Like, read a book. 3 kids. You can't have 3 kids. What are you, insane? And then COVID happened, and we thought, we'll just have 1 more. So we had him, and he's a little boy. His name's Ari. And when he was born, we realised that 2 was enough, okay? 2 was actually heaps. 2 was plenty. 2 was plenty. I'm not saying we regret him. I am saying he's a mistake. So I am... Okay? For the first 18 months of my son's life, Lucas and I would look at each other every single day for 18 months, and one of us would say, what have we done? It's a lot of kids. It's too many kids. When I found out I was having a boy, things would change. Like, because we had 2 girls already, a lot of people were like, oh, boy, you're having a boy. And we had to find out this time. We didn't find out really with the girls. We found out with our son. We had to find out that he was a boy or whatever he was. We had to do a gender reveal. I know, how embarrassing. We always got kicked out of Melbourne for that. But we had to have it. And by the way, why do we call it a gender reveal? Why do we call it? We know it's 2025. We know we're finding out the baby's sex, not the baby's gender, but we can't call it a sex reveal party. Because Nan won't come to that. But we had to do it because the girls, they wanted a sister different to the one they had. Well, one of them wanted a dog. And so we thought, we're going to do it. We have to find out. We couldn't be a surprise for them. So we had to find out. So we did this gender reveal party, and it was during COVID, so it was just us. And it was me, this huge pregnant belly, and a big helium black balloon. I was like the weirdest, saddest clown ever. And then I'm so glad we got it on film. I'm so glad we filmed it because it was just me and then our two daughters who were 5 and 6 at the time standing next to me. And when I popped it, all this blue confetti came out. I'm so glad we got it on video because we got the girls' reaction, which was exactly the same as each other. It was like this. Suck shit. It was awesome. It was awesome. We found out we're having a boy. We told people, and people were like, "Oh, a boy! Oh, that's awesome! No, that's really good. Oh, thank Christ you went for a third. A boy, that's great. A boy, you will be stoked with that. A boy, that is really lucky you went for a third. A boy, that's really great." I was like, "What's going on? Am I supposed to give him to the church?" I didn't know why I had to be so excited about this. I was like, okay, yeah, it's a boy. Yeah, it's great, whatever. And then I went to the park one morning. It was 11 a.m. and there was a woman there who smelled like dry white wine. And we've all been her before. And she said to me, "Oh, Bron, I heard you're having a boy." I said, "Yeah." And she went, "Oh, that's great. No, that's really good. It's really, you'll love it. It's just, you shouldn't say it, but it's better with boys. It's actually better with boys. It's nicer with boys. They love you more. You love them a bit more. It's just nicer with boys." My girls are standing next to me. I'm like, "What are you talking about, Trish? You got to stop drinking in the morning. This is mental." But then other boy mums were talking to me about this. Other boy mums were saying to us, "You shouldn't say it, but it is nicer with boys. They love you more. It's beautiful. It's so nice." I was like, what is going on? It annoyed me so much. I was so determined for gender to be a construct that when he was born, it had all of the girls' stuff there. I was like, he's just going to play with the same things. And then when he was born and he developed a personality, which took ages. Like so long. It took a really concerning amount of time. For a while there I was like, there's something wrong with him. There is nothing behind those eyes. But when he did develop one, thank Christ, he was obsessed with two things, and this was different to the girls. The first thing that he was obsessed with was tiny little cars. Tiny little cars. So many tiny little cars. The smaller the better. If you get him a car that's a little bit too big, he's like, "What the fuck is that?" They're everywhere. My house is covered in tiny little cars. I know how I'm going to die, okay? I know. It's going to be in the middle of the night. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to slip on one of these fucking toys. And the only person who's going to come out is my son, and he'll go, "Don't step on my cars." He has them everywhere. He has them like in his little pockets. Why do boy pants always have pockets? Toddler boys always have pockets. The girls don't. They just have leggings. Boys have pockets. Why? You don't have a wallet, cunt. What's in there? What the fuck does he need a pocket for? Christ's sake. He does these toys. He treats them like little dolls. He loves them so much. Like he'll tuck them into bed at night. He'll feed them Wheat Bix. He'll sing to them. He'll read to them. He can't even read. It's incredible. He loves these things. The other thing that he's obsessed with is me. He is obsessed with me. That's different to the girls. Sure, they're fond of me. Like they'll come to my funeral. But he is obsessed with me. He wants to marry me. You can always tell when an adult doesn't have kids when they talk to kids. You can always tell, all right? It's very clear because this is how they'll talk to them. They'll go, "Oh, hello, little person. Wow, look at you all the way down there. Tiny, tiny, tiny." And the kids are like, "What the fuck's wrong with that one?" And they'll always ask him weird questions like, "And how many kidneys have you got?" Just talk to him normally. Don't be weird about it. It's finally they will ask him a question that he does know the answer to. And they'll be like, "And who's your best friend?" He'll be like, "Oh, easy, my mum." I'm like, "Mate, you got to stop saying that. You're going to get bashed at daycare." He's so madly in love with me. He will come into my bed every single night. So every morning I will wake up and he'll be planking me, just on top of me, just planking me, just breathing in my essence like the witches from Hocus Pocus. Like... And when I stir, he'll just grab my face like, and he'll go, oh, I love you. And I know some of you are thinking, that's sweet, but I need you to know I've broken up with men for less. It's too much for me. It's too much. He's mad for me. It's crazy. Like, I can't go to the bathroom without him. That's a rule that he's designed. I mean, I don't know why we have a door on our bathroom anyway. I think I'm going to chop it up for firewood. But recently I tried to go to the bathroom by myself. Little treat. Bit of me time. Okay? Bit of self-care. So I crept through the house. I went into the bathroom and I sat down and his gigantic 4-year-old head shot in and he went, what are you doing? I said, Mummy's just doing a little wee. I'll be out in a second. Just give me 1 second, all right? And he went, you've got to tell me. He goes, wait there. And then he ran out of the bathroom and he came back in with 2 tiny little cars and he drove them up and down my legs. Give me a minute, mate. What the fuck? It's too much. The toilet thing's interesting to me because if you see 2 grown-ups leave a cubicle together, if you go to the pub and you see 2 grown-ups leave the toilet cubicle together, you've never seen so much shame in your life. And that is right. That is the correct response because they've done something crook in there. They should feel ashamed. But if you see a grown woman and her 4-year-old son leave a toilet cubicle together, you've never seen anyone more tired and anyone more proud. He'll walk out of the bathroom like this. Be like, that's my mum. Just watched her take a shit. And it was awesome. I don't know where the cutoff is because little boys are so obsessed with their mum's bodies and then they become teenagers. I don't know when it is. Teenagers, then they're just disgusted by their mum's body. I don't know what that cutoff is. Like when you see a grown woman talking to her adult son saying, I've just got a doctor's appointment. Just later today, that man will go, oh, don't talk about your vagina. You guys are so scared of your mum's bodies, but I need you to know when you were 2, 3 and 4, you wanted to crawl back in. Well, it's nice to have a little break from him tonight. This show is about my time as a high school teacher. Any teachers in? Give me a cheer. Oh, yes. Okay, a few of you. All right, you're high school, right? Yeah, and what do you teach? Science, very cool. It's not. And then, how long have you been a teacher for? 18 years? You look 19 years old. Like, I don't know how science works, but I know that's illegal. I'm so glad we filmed that. And then you guys are teachers as well? Oh, great. Do you guys work together? Oh, okay. You're still nodding. You don't know where you work. This is a house of lies here. You used to work together. Oh, that's nice. Oh, great. And what do you guys teach? Chemistry. Maths and chemistry. Oh, 3 nerds in a row. That's cool. That's cool. Any primary school teachers in? Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, there's a few. Okay, lovely. And what grade do you teach? Grade 2. Okay, great. Thanks for refraining from using your hands because usually primary school teachers are so patronising. Grade 2. It's like, I can hear you, cunt. Like, just... So thanks for doing that. So I was a high school teacher for 10 years. Would you guys ever want to teach primary school? Hell no. No, you wouldn't? Because I think it'd be pretty sweet. I think some of the moments would be pretty nice. No. And would you ever want to teach high school? No. Because you couldn't. And I said what I said. I just think they're just such wildly different jobs. I'm astounded they have the same title. It's just amazing to me. I just think it's so incomparable. If I was to compare them, it'd be like comparing like a parking ticket inspector to a police officer. Is that It's too rude. That's too mean. That's too mean. Okay, all right. I'm trying. Well, parking ticket inspector is still a job. Someone's got to do it. Okay, all right, I've got a nicer one. I've got one that you will like better, okay? One that will keep you sitting there. Okay, primary school to high school would be like comparing like a florist to a frontline soldier. Is that better, Melbourne? Is that actually better? Is that better? There we go. I did this joke at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and there was a primary school teacher who had such primary school teacher energy. She's in the third row, and I was like, any primary school teachers in? She was like... I was like, ugh, you're insufferable. And I said, so what do you teach? She was like, 3. I was like, okay. Oh, I can't stand ya. And I did that joke. She was loving the show up until that moment. Laugh. And then that moment, I did the parking ticket inspector, and then the florist one. She was so upset about that joke that like she wanted me to know. She needed me to know how upset she was. So she crossed her arms and had a face like a slapped ass for the rest of the show. And I know what she was doing. She was just trying to show me that she was disappointed in me. But all I kept thinking was, see, this is why you couldn't be a high school teacher. You fucking sook, you know? I asked my friends who weren't teachers what they'd want to see in a show mostly about teaching, and they always had the same 2 answers. One is they want to know about the naughty kids. I was like, oh, that's easy. My first year of teaching, I taught this kid in year 8 who hated me so much. He came into class one day and he had real bullets and he lined them on his desk. I know. And he goes, hey, Miss Lewis, if I had a gun, you'd be dead. Isn't that adorable? And the end of the class, I went to the year 8 coordinator, a man with a ponytail, and I was like... And I said, hey, this kid has just threatened my life. This is what he said. And he went, oh, Bron, boys will be boys. And I heard that saying so often as a teacher. I went back to that suburb recently, about 3 months ago. And I was like, oh, my gosh. I was doing a comedy show. I said, oh, my gosh, the last time I was here, I was teaching and I taught this kid who brought bullets. I told that story. And I said, and his name was, and I said his first and last name. And this woman shot up and she went, that's my son. No, I said, oh, is he enjoying prison? It's just nice to reconnect, you know. The other thing people wanted to know about is they wanted to know about the staff room. Everyone wants to know what happens in the staff room because parents and kids are not allowed in there. Okay, children, you're not allowed in there. Go eat your soup with your fucking fingers. Fuck off. I remember when I was 6 years old, I fell over on the basketball court and I grazed my knee. So I hobbled all the way to the staff room and I knocked on... And staff rooms are like, they're covered in windows, all right? So I think the idea is it's supposed to be welcoming. But teachers cover every single glass bit with posters that are like, children's wellbeing, we care about you, lifeline, or whatever. It's like the whole thing. And it's a really clear message of fuck off, you know? So there's that. And when I hobbled there, I peeked through like the little cracks between the posts, and I saw the nicest teacher in the whole school, like Miss Honey vibes. And I was like, oh. So I knocked on it and I watched this teacher make a facial expression I'd never seen her make before. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And she walked over to the door, opened it up and went, what? And I was like, oh, sorry, I'll bleed out. Sorry about that. Kids aren't allowed in there and parents are not allowed in there. Parents, the way that teachers talk to you about your child is very different to the way they talk to each other about your gross child, okay? I can tell you what happens in a high school one anyway. Like, I can't tell you what happens in a primary school one. I've never been in one. I'm overqualified. But if you... If you walk into a staff room, a high school one, it's always the same. There'll be a little posse of graduates and they're always the same, like a nervous energy. They just stick together and they've got gigantic water bottles and one jacked arm from carrying it around all day, okay? And they've got something that no other teacher has, and that's hope. It is so funny. It is so funny. And then if you look next to them, you'll see a humanities teacher, and humanities teachers are always called Lauren, and they are way too into teaching. Like it's their entire identity. If they were ever invited to the pub, which they wouldn't be, they would just talk about school, okay? They wear their lanyards on the weekends. They're fucking losers, okay? That is them. And they're always making huge statements to the staff room that no one's ever listening to, like, school holidays. What school holidays? Am I right, guys? Or like, hey guys, I'm going to have 2 bickies today because I've got mixed netball tonight. It's like, Lauren, just say you're lonely. Now, if you look next to her, there'll be a teacher sitting at the table who's always in there, okay? And she should have retired 15 years earlier, but she can't because she's had a bad divorce. So she's sitting there and she's fucking furious. She hates absolutely everything. She hates everything. And she's always in there, like always. It's like, fuck, Leanne, do you even work here? What are you doing here? She's just sitting there, just spitting hate at everything, being like, those bloody graduates always, yep. One asked me to use the rubric the other day. I won't use the rubric. I will never use the rubric. Do you know what? I go how I feel. I go by how I feel, and that's normal. And that's how I've always done it, okay? It was much nicer in the olden days. This is just shit. Everyone's doing a shit job here, bloody hell. I've chucked out everyone's Tupperware. I'm fucking sick of the Tupperware. I've chucked it all out. Radisha, I threw your lunch out as well. It stinks. And also, Danielle, I saw your pictures of your wedding on the Facebook and you looked fat. She is awful. She is awful. She is awful. But if you're going close to her, if you accidentally get too close to Leanne, you're like, oh, so Leanne, what was so good about teaching in the olden days? She was like, oh, it was good. You used to be able to drink at camp. And if you scratch the surface even further, she was like, oh, it was better. You used to be able to hit him. And I'm like, okay, I'm on board now. And then if you look at the ground, there'll be one PE teacher rolling around, just stretching out his groin. Just stretching it right out, even though he hasn't gone for a run in 10 years. Just stretching it right out. Just like talking about, yeah, when I was 19, I could have got into the Sydney Swans. I was this fucking close getting into Sydney Swans. I would have been brilliant. I would have been really brilliant. But I did my knee in at Trent's 18th, so that was it. I was done. I was cooked. I couldn't do it. It really upsets me, actually. I would have been really good. I the best footy player, I reckon, this nation's ever seen. But that's okay. Teaching's good. Teaching's great. I like teaching. It's good. The Year 11 girls are lovely. You can't go into the staff room, as parents can't go in there, students can't go in there, because teachers use gallows humour, just like nurses and doctors. Give me a cheer for any nurses and doctors in? Oh, a few in. Oh, wow, I'm surprised you could afford it. And thanks for coming. But you use gallows humour? The nurse, you use gallows humour. You have to use dark humour to get through it, right? And you're allowed to. You're allowed to say whatever you want about us because we don't want your job. It's too hard. So, and this is like if you walk past a nurse's station in a hospital, just walk in, go visit someone, you'll hear the 2 nurses talking to each other and they'll be like, oh, have you dealt with that prick in bed 9 yet? Fuck, he is so fucking annoying. He's so annoying. His wife's always complaining about the food. Fuck off, you fat bitch. It's not for you. It's not for you. I'm going to shit in his bed tonight, say he did it. Yeah, no, he's awful. I hope he dies tonight. You know, but you are allowed to talk about us like that. You're allowed to. Nurses and doctors, you can, because we don't want your job. It's way too hard, okay? That is your free ticket to keep us alive, all right? Teachers also are allowed to talk about whoever they want in that staff room, and they are allowed to, okay? If you see a teacher, just say she's just finished teaching Year 8 English, and she just left the classroom and she's walking across the quad towards the staff room to have a cup of tea. She's walking across, she's got a tray full of like resources and regret, and she's walking across and there'll be a 12-year-old girl just nipping at her heels like a Jack Russell, being like, and then on the weekend I went to the pool, and at the pool I went down the slide. Like last time I went, I was too scared to go, but this time I went down, and my brother, who's younger than me, he's younger than me by like 19 months, and Mum said that's really close, but I think that's ages, and he was like, he's younger than me, but he went down the slide. He's been going down the slide for ages, and but he's taller than me. Isn't that weird? He's younger, but he's taller. I didn't think that was possible, but it's actually possible. And my dad was there, and he was like nervous about me going down, and the teacher's going, okay, Jeanette. Yep, Jeanette, you've actually told me all this before. You told me about these heaps in class. I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to pop in and have a cup of tea. Jeanette, I'm just going in for a cup of tea. Jeanette, if you could just give me a minute. It's my only break of the day. I'm going in for a cup of tea. She'll walk in, she'll close the door, and she'll go, what the fuck's wrong with Jeanette? She's undiagnosed something. Her brother's the same. You've spoken to her mum before. She's not all there. There is lead in their pipes, I'm telling you. Oh, my God. If I get Jeanette in my class next year, I will burn this fucking school down. And that's why you're not allowed in the staff room. I have a theory that there's 3 main reasons why people become high school teachers, okay? 3 main reasons. The first one is that they want to make a difference, and every single teacher thinks that's them. It's not. Second reason is that they were losers at school. And wait for it. They've come back for revenge. They're the mean ones, like really, really mean teachers, really nasty. The third reason is that they were cool at school, then they become an adult and they're not cool. So they've come back and tried to be cool again. These are the ones who were all accidentally following the Year 11s on Instagram, okay? That's these ones. I've got 2 reasons why I became a teacher. The first one is one of the main ones, and that's because I wanted to make a difference. How embarrassing, shame on me. It didn't work. The second one is more minor. It's because I hate learning. I hate learning so much. My logic behind this is that carpenters never finish their own houses, chefs never eat their own food, and police don't follow the law. So I thought this is perfect for me. Perfect. I'm just not a naturally curious person. I have this weird fear that I have a certain amount of facts and skills in my head, and if someone teaches me a new skill, a skill I cherish and use daily, will fall out the back of my head and I'll never see it again, and I am not willing to risk the lyrics of TLC's No Scrubs for anything useless like Sudoku or CPR. I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not going to do it. You can forget it. I'm not a naturally curious person. That is why I became an English teacher. I was an English teacher. English teachers are famous for being the ones in the staff room who were like, oh my God, I have got essays coming out the wazoo. I couldn't possibly help with morning tea. I can't contribute. No, I can't do yard duty either. I've got essays on my desk and I've got essays at home. I've got essays in my car. I've got so many essays. But what you guys don't know is you don't actually have to read the essays. You just need to get a pen that's a different colour to the one on the paper. You just circle things, tick things, cross things, question mark things, underline things, give them 70. If they complain, give them 100. How easy is that? That's so good. I'll cosplay an English teacher for you. I'll show you what high school English teachers, this is what I have to do. They just have to wear bright things, Gorman preferably. Just wear Gorman. Just walk into the class and write, right. Who's read the text? Then a bunch of kids will put their hands up. Great. Any questions? One kid will be like, yeah, why did the protagonist have to die? Yeah, great question. Why do you think the protagonist had to die? And as they're answering, you're like, okay, slow down. All right. Yeah, well done. Okay. Any other question? One kid's like, yeah, sorry, what are the themes? Great question. What do you think the themes are? And then all these nerds start spitting all this stuff off and you're going, wow, this does sound like a good book. Eventually one kid's like, Miss Lewis, what's in your keep cup? And you're like, shut the fuck up. I'm not a naturally curious person. My partner Lucas is. He's really, really curious. He asks a lot of questions. Some of you might be like, oh, you're not very compatible. I'm like, that's not true. He asks a lot of questions. I talk a lot. I know nothing about him. It's actually beautiful. I annoyed him when I was pregnant with my first kid because I thought my curiosity would kick in when I finished high school. It didn't. I thought my curiosity would kick in when I finished uni. It didn't. I thought my curiosity would kick in when I became pregnant with my first child, but it didn't. My brain was like, all right, you're just going to get bigger. I was like, that's all I need to know. I got the pregnancy app. I'm not a psycho. I got the pregnancy app because the pregnancy app tells you the size of the baby and it compares it to something that you understand. So like 1 week it's the size of a poppy seed, the next week it's the size of a blueberry, eventually it's the size of a gigantic financial burden, and you can just fucking watch it grow. Isn't that beautiful? So I had it for that reason. And I'd go to these, there were so many midwife appointments. They annoyed me. Midwives are weird. And there were so many midwife appointments, so many of them. And I would go to them and I was such a waste of my time. I'd reluctantly go and the lady would say, okay, Bron, any questions this week? I say, just the same one. Why are you obsessed with me? And it was just too many. And I'd get home and Lucas would get home from work. He'd go, did you go to the appointment? Did you ask any questions? I said, no, I didn't ask any questions. He goes, Bron, this is really annoying. It's my first baby as well. It's actually pretty selfish you're not asking anything. I said, well, if you want to know, why don't you come? And he said, I will actually. Next time you have one, I'm going to take the morning off work and I'm going to come along. What's his job? I don't know. I don't know. I've been with this man for 13 years. We have 3 kids together. It is too late for me to ask now. The ship has sailed. I just have to wait for one of our kids to be interested enough in him to be like, oh, Dad, what do you do? And as he's answering, I'll be like, okay, slow down. So he came along to this appointment. He came along. This midwife appointment. We're sitting in the waiting room at the women's hospital. The midwife came out and she went, and Bron and Daddy. I'm like, yuck, why do midwives have to make everything gross? I was like, oh, yeah, don't call him Daddy. I don't even call him Daddy anymore. That's yucky. You're yuck. We went in, we sit down. We go in, we sit down, and she said, now, Bron, have you got any questions for me this week? And I said, no, but you'll never believe your luck. Because this cunt has heaps. And she saw not only a present dad, but an interested dad, and she almost slid off a fucking chair. She was like... She goes, well, Lucas, what do you got? What do you got for me? And he went, yes, good, yeah, okay. What is the record? And she went, the record. No, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, what is the record of babies? I was like, oh, this is going to be good. She goes, the record of babies. I'm so sorry, Lucas, I'm not following. And he goes, what is the record of babies born? And by this stage, she's now looking at me like, is there something wrong with him? I'm like, you wanted questions? Go on. And he goes, oh, what is the record of babies born in a day? She's now so flustered. She's like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I don't understand what you're asking me, Lucas. And he went, oh, like she was the idiot. What is the record of babies born in a day in this hospital? She went, oh, I don't know. And that was his only question. That was it. That was his only question. That was it. She was disappointed. He was embarrassed. I was having the time of my fucking life. I was so smug. We left there. I was like, all right, why? I was silent, quiet as a mouse. And we're walking down. He was so sheepish. We walked to the elevator. I'm not saying we're too smug. Go down the elevator, get in the car. Before he puts the key in the ignition, he turned to me and he went, "Was that a stupid question?" I said, "Do you think that was a stupid question?" He came to my show in Melbourne. I don't tell him what happens in the show before he comes along. I don't bounce my jokes off him because he's not funny. So he came along and he didn't know that bit was in it. And at the end of the show, he came over to me and he said, "Bron, I thought the show was really good. Yeah. I just don't reckon you need that midwife bit. I don't reckon you need that at all." He goes, "The audience didn't like it." No one laughed. I was like, "I was there, cunt." It's staying. I don't miss teaching. I think you teachers are amazing. It truly is. It was such a hard job. I don't miss it at all. I do have some flashbacks though that I can't get off. Some things that are like stuck to my bones. I'm like, oh God, I wish I could forget that. This one I'll tell you about is when I got to school one day and I got an extra. Do you get extras in primary school?
Yeah.
You do. What do they look like in primary school?
We might just take like a yard duty or...
Oh yeah, you might take a yard duty.
Class if they're not there.
You take someone's class. What happens to your class?
Well, if it's one of our free periods.
Oh, you had a free period in primary school? Fuck. Lazy. No, an extra, for those who don't know, in high school you get a timetable just like the kids would, and every so often, every blue moon you get a free period, and you count down the days to that. You're like, oh my God, every blue Wednesday, period 4, I get a free period. I'm going to sit by myself in a dark room. I'm going to give my inner thighs little paper cuts. It's going to be the best fucking time of my... You can't wait for it. You cannot wait. And then you get to school that day, you're so excited, and then you open up your laptop and you get an extra because some motherfucker has been selfish enough to call in sick. And I reckon every other profession you're like, oh, hope they're all right. But in teaching you're like, you better fucking die from that. You better be dead next time I see you. You're so angry at them. Like I got this extra and it was year 8 health. And I was like, well, that's not ideal because you want your own method. I would want English, okay? If you get someone else's method, you just feel like a silly Billy, all right? You're kind of just like making stuff up and the kids are tricking you. It's awful. One time I had to teach for 8 weeks year 7 Indonesian. Now, I'm not an Indonesian woman. I don't speak Indonesian. I refuse to learn anything. So for 8 weeks, I just did a PowerPoint presentation on barley braids. I was like, I'd probably get those ones. So it was a fucking waste of everyone's time, okay? So I get this extra and it's year 8 health. And I'm like, that is not my method, but how hard could it be? PE teachers can do it. So I went to this classroom and before the kids have come in, I open up the laptop and I'm just reading the class plan. And the class plan is Year 8 Health, Sex Ed. This is very bad for me, especially. Very bad. I am a sexual prude. I will never talk about my sex life. I will never talk about it, okay? I feel it's so awkward. I think the worst part about me having 3 kids is not the financial strain or the exhaustion. It's me knowing that you know that I've had sex 3 times. That fucking kills me. That keeps me up at night. I hate it. I'll never talk about my sex life. I always hate when people talk to me about their sex life. It's bewildering to me. And everyone has a mate who talks too much about their sex life. Everyone has that one friend who gives way too many details. Think about who it is for you. If you can't work it out, it's fucking you. And you are disgusting, okay? You are a very upsetting person. You're the person that everyone cringes when you walk in the room. Stop it, grow up, okay? That's yucky, it's private. My mate Claire talks too much about her sex life, way too much, so much about her sex life, and I give her every indication I'm not interested. I give her every indication I'm so uncomfortable. Like, I'll go on my phone, I'll make a cup of tea, I'll make this sound, shh. But she just keeps going. It just keeps going. And because I'm such a visual person, everything she says, I can see it. So now when I see her husband, I'm like, fuck, he's walking well. So when I got year 8 sex ed, I was like, this is going to be awful. The only thing that can make this worse is if I'm 7 months pregnant, which I was, okay? So I was like the poster girl for how it could go wrong. These year 8s come in, they sit down. The first half of the class is them watching a disgusting educational movie. Yucky, okay? And they're having a great time. They're like giggling, nudging each other. They're making memories, all right? I'm sitting at the back of the class just willing an early labour. I'm like, come on! It's not working, so I want the bell to go, and the bell never goes when you want it to go. It's not like the TV shows and the movies where the teacher says something amazing, the bell goes and the kids go, wow, she was amazing, I'm inspired. Not like that in real life. In real life, the bell never goes when you want it to go. I reckon when the front office lady is like, is someone teaching sex ed today? Where are the scissors? I'm going to cut the fucking cord. Like, you will teach sex ed for the rest of your life, all right? It also never goes, it never goes when you want it to go, but it always goes when you least want it to go. When you're like, oh my God, I've just made a connection with this student. This kid has been disengaged for this whole year. They're looking at you and you're like, oh my God, he's about to learn something. Okay, so in the crucible, and then the bell goes and you're like, come on! It's so annoying. It never goes when you want it to go. It always goes when you least want it to go, okay? The second half of the class is even worse, if you could even imagine. The second half is they all write anonymous questions on little bits of paper, and then they put them in this disgusting little box at the front of the room. And then I have to waddle to the front of the class with my huge pregnant belly and open up this awful little box and then read aloud their perverted little questions and then answer them maturely. So get the first question, and it is, why do men enjoy sex so much more than women? And I want to scrunch it up and throw it away, but I don't, because I know there is a year 8 girl in this class who has asked this earnestly. I know why year 8 girls think that men enjoy sex so much more than women. It's because every TV show that's ever been made, every movie they've ever seen, there's just a tired wife and a fat oaf husband who's like, is it time for sex now? So I know why girls think that. So I'm like, I need to let them know this is not true. I am the feminist. I'm going to take this seriously and I'm going to answer this maturely. So I said, actually, women women enjoy just as much as men. And then this kid at the back, Jaden, not spelled how you think, he yells out, Yeah, you do. I said, shut the fuck up, Jaden! The questions come, there's so many, I have blacked out, okay? I get to this one question, and last one, I was like, come on, Bron, last question, you can do it. I read it, and I do scrunch it up, and I throw it out, and I said, okay, what's the end of the class? We're just going to wait for that bell that's never fucking going. We're just going to wait for the bell. We're just waiting for the bell. Okay, we're waiting for the bell. And then this kid, way too little. By the way, year 8s aren't right. Year 8s aren't right. Year 8s are not right, okay? This is the year where they have all grown at different paces, okay? Some of them are so tiny. Some of them are so little that they look like they're 6 or 7, okay? And you're like, whoa, are you academically gifted or physically fucked, mate? Which one is it? Which one is it? And then there's others that are huge, like massive ones. It's like, you better be paying tax, cunt. And then there's others that just their legs have grown or just their arms or just half their face. So when year 8s are walking in a pack, it looks like that scene in Monsters, Inc. when they're walking to work. They're awful. Some of them are like, why are my arms so long? You're like, I don't know, mate. Another one's like, what have I got a moustache? You're like, I don't know, Fatima. I don't know. I don't know. They are awful. Jaden's at the back feeling pretty smug about himself. And this little kid down the front, way too little to be in year 8, he goes, what was that question? I said, it doesn't matter, we're not doing a question. We'll just leave it. And then Jaden, the back of the class, he goes, that was my question. I said, it doesn't matter, Jaden, we're not doing the question, we're not doing it. This little fella goes, what was your question, Jaden? The class parted. And it was just me and that fuck-knuckle Jaden. And I'm going, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Jaden, do not. Don't you dare. And Jaden went, all right. Is that baby mine? I said, no, it's your dad's. And no, I didn't. I wish I did, but you can't. Teachers can't say whatever they want. If teachers could say whatever they wanted, we'd go to jail. We just have all day. Our filter is so strong, okay? Do you know who doesn't have to have a filter? Daycare workers. My son's daycare lady, her name's Carol. She in? You in, Carol? Okay, she's not in. Carol's a bitch, okay? My son's daycare lady, her name's Carol. She is a huge bitch. She hates me so. I don't know what I've done to Carol to upset her so much, but she just hates me. Like, I'll drop Ari off at daycare. He's 4 years old. Get him into daycare. Get in there, mate. Get in there. I'm always a bit late because, unlike all the other mums, I don't have a day job. Some of you are like, oh, then why does he go to daycare then? None of your fucking business. So I drop him off late. I'm like, in you go, mate, in you go. And I'll look up at Carol and she'll be like this. And I don't know if the people without kids can relate to this, but when you've got kids, you never know when you're going to fucking snap. So when Carol does this shit to me, I'm like, oh, sorry, Carol. Sorry, Carol. Did he miss a meeting, did he? Was there a big meeting on this morning, Carol? Was there a big meeting he missed, was there, Carol? Was there a big meeting, mate? Hey, Caleb, can you take your finger out of your nose, mate? Do you take the minutes for this meeting? What the fuck, Carol? What's your actual problem, Carol? What is it? What did he miss? Was it finger painting? Because he did some finger painting with his own shit this morning. So I reckon you can go tick that off your list. What is your actual problem, Carol? What is your problem, Carol? Anyway, I don't say that to her. Because she's raising my son. I'll just say, oh, sorry, Carol, so sorry. We'll be on time tomorrow. She's coming for me online, though, because daycares, they've all got apps. Any daycare, anyone here got kids in daycare? Yeah, okay, you should be at home. But you have the app, right? Yeah, it's app. The daycares, you have to download. If your kids are daycare, you have to download an app, and the purpose of it is for them to update you all day about what your kid is doing. I'm like, Carol, if I wanted to know, I would have kept the cunt home. These updates feel like none of my business. And they truly are relentless. It'll be like, bing, I'll look at my phone, it'll be like, Ari had an apple. I'm like, fuck, Carol, are you going to call Sandra Sully or should I? Be like, bing, Ari did a wee. I'm like, Carol, unless that wee went directly in your eye, I am not interested. Bing, I'm like, Carol, if you interrupt this rerun of Grey's Anatomy one more time, I am going to lose it. There was one notification that I was interested in, only one, okay, because each week there's a spotlight on one kid and that has done something mildly impressive, and I really mean mildly, okay, and all the other mums get to read it. I say the mums because none of the dads know the app exists, okay, so I've got... This one came through, and it was spotlight on Ari this week, and I was really excited about that. So I was like, oh, what's he done? And it just said, Ari spoke beautifully at Show and Tell today. He told us all about his new toy car. And he said, and this is the only bit in quotation marks, okay? This is the only bit that Carol took from his little mouth and put on the World Wide Web for all the mums to read, gobble up like a hungry pack of hyenas, okay? He said, my mum drives a red car and she doesn't play with me. I was like, holy shit, Carol, Christ almighty. So I have to reply to this because I knew the mums would be loving that. So I have to reply. So I said, that is a lie. I drive a blue car. Teach him his colours, Carol. She doesn't have a filter. Carol has no filter, but she's allowed to not have a filter, okay? Because she's around little people, the tiny little idiots that don't have filters themselves. So she's allowed to be like that. That's fine. Well done, Carol. Okay? My mother-in-law also has no filter. She's allowed to not have one either. She's got an excuse because English is her second language. She's from Poland, my mother-in-law. She's only been here in Australia for 43 years. So... that means she's allowed to say whatever she wants. And she does. Once I saw her looking at me and she was almost smiling. And if you've ever met a Polish woman, smiling is hard for them, okay? Smiling for a Polish woman is about as hard as making a dessert and not putting a potato in it, okay? It's really tricky. It's tricky. So when I saw her almost smiling at me, I thought, oh, my God, she's going to give me a compliment. So I went in for it. I said, Yola, you thinking about me? And she went, Bron, I'm going to do the accent because I'm brave. She said, Bron, I always thought my son would marry a nice Polish girl. And that was her compliment. And then Lucas, he came, he goes, no, what she's trying to say, no. What she's trying to say is that Wagga Wagga's just as good as Poland, and it's wonderful that you're part of the family, and you are a great mother, and is that new lipstick, because she really likes that lipstick, and that's what she's trying to say. I said, that's not what the witch said, but... First time she ever came and saw my stand-up comedy, first time it was last year. She sat at the back of the audience. At the end of the show, she pushed her way through like an angry little guinea pig in a raincoat, like... She got to me and she went, Bron, you are good, I am surprised. Then Lucas's cousins who were there, they all went, no, what she's trying to say is the show was really great and it's really impressive that you got into comedy as a woman because it's a male-dominated field, and the fact that you did it in your 30s as a mother is really impressive. She loves that and is that new lipstick because she really likes that lipstick, and that is what she's trying to say. I said, that's not what the mole said, but... I can't relate to this woman. I cannot, because she's bilingual. I'm not bilingual. I'm from Wagga Wagga. I only speak English a bit. I said to one of my friends, I'm actually fine with just having just English in there, because I know that when I'm tired, I get confused already. So if I was fluent in 2 languages, when I'm tired, I reckon the wrong one would come out and I'd have no idea. And my mate who is bilingual, she went, yeah, Bron, that is one of the most ignorant things you've ever said. I said, I wouldn't have thought so. Recently I went to get my nails done though, and there were ladies who were working there, these Vietnamese ladies, they were having a chat together, and the woman next to me, she said, sorry to interrupt, I was wondering, are you guys speaking Northern Vietnamese or Southern Vietnamese? And the Vietnamese women looked at each other and looked back at her, because even I know, I'm from Wagga, even I know there is only one Vietnamese. The women looked at each other, looked back at her, and one of them said, relax, I'm not doing that accent. Come on. I did this bit in Queensland, in Brisbane, and a woman from the back of the room goes, no, do the Chinese accent. Right. Good Queensland. Now, the Vietnamese woman turned to her and she said, oh, there's just the one Vietnamese. There's a northern accent, there's a southern accent, but it is just the one Vietnamese. And the woman went, okay, if you say so. The Vietnamese ladies turned back to each other and they started talking again. And then one of them must have been a tired mother of 3. Because she said, clear as day, what a dumb bitch. Oh! And I was like, holy shit, I speak Vietnamese. In the moment, it was awful for the ladies, because the Vietnamese ladies, they felt really bad, and the woman next to me, she felt really angry, and I was having the time of my fucking life. So I thought, oh God, I'm the only one who can fix this. So I turned to her and I said, what she's trying to say. What she's trying to say is, that's a really nice lipstick. And you are a dumb bitch, yeah. I'm at the point of the show where I've got one more story. Have you guys had a good time? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys have been so much better than the last crowd. Nah, good on them. Thanks for their money. Okay, this last story. All right, so this last story I have for you is about the worst class I ever taught. All right. So I get to school one day and I get an extra, and you guys know how much I hate extras. I hate them. So I get this extra and it is Year 9 English. I'm like, that's annoying, but it's my method, whatever. Okay, going to the classroom, I've got my laptop open on my arm, and the class plan just says, don't worry, Bron, you don't have to teach this class. You just have to supervise it because there's a student teacher. And I was like, fuck, that's good. That is good news. And as I was standing tall in my victorious self, I felt this cold, scared presence behind me. And I was like, oh, please be a ghost, please be a ghost, please be a ghost, please be a ghost. I turned around And there was the most petrified student teacher I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm going to describe her to you the best way I know how, because I don't want to bully her, because we're not making fun of her. She looked like someone who would have had an awful time at high school herself. An awful time. You work out what that is for you. That image for you, you're doing the bullying now. That's on you. Shame on you. Okay. So so I'm looking at her and I can't work out, because she doesn't look angry enough to be back for revenge. So I can't work out why she's returned to the scene of the crime. I'm like, this mate, what are you here for? Run, bitch. No. And I said, are you taking this class? She said, yeah. I said, how many have you taught before? She goes, this will be my first class. I said, I'll just teach it and you just watch. It's fine. I'm happy to teach it. It's okay. You just sit there. She goes, no, I really want to teach it. I said, okay. They're year 9s. They're awful. And she went, no, it's okay. I really want to teach it. I've got a class plan. And if you could do nothing, if you could sit at the back and just do nothing, because I want to learn quickly. So if you could just let me do it, that would be great. I'd say, yeah. Do you need a safe word? I go into the class, I sit at the back, I open up my laptop and I can hear the year 9s coming. You can hear year 9s before you see them, all right? Because year 9s sound like this. Sack tap. They're awful. They're disgusting. Okay, so I'm hearing them coming and I'm like, ugh, this is going to be hard. The boys come in first. The boys are the worst boys in year 9, all right, including the biggest bully in year 9, Noah Edwards, his real name. They come in. Fuck him. They come in. They come in and they look up, they see her and their eyes light up, and they look at the back of the class, they see me, not their real teacher, and they are stoked, okay? I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to die in here. They come and they sit around me. The boys sit around me because they want to see just how little I'm going to do, all right, just how little. And they sit down and they open up their laptops and they immediately go on to the games. She starts the class and it is torture to watch. She's like, hey guys, this is my first ever class teaching and I'm feeling really nervous right now. So if you guys could, if no one seems to be listening, I've put in a lot of effort into this class. Each table is a station. Each table has a learning outcome which aligns to the pedagogy. Guys, are you listening? Isn't it? No one is listening to her. Not even the kids that look like her are listening to her, okay? I'm like, oh, this is so hard. I'm trying to get her attention about the kids on the lap because she's asked me not to do anything. So I'm doing this. I'm like an overzealous wing defence. It's like, fuck off, wing defence. No one's ever needed you. Fuck off. No one is listening. It's just mayhem. Eventually she comes over to my table where I'm sitting with the naughty boys and she goes, okay, boys, can you please... Guys, why are you... They're doing something awful. They're not just ignoring her. They're pretending they can't hear or see her. And it is obviously triggering for her because her little chin starts to go and her eyes start to well up. And I don't know if the non-teachers know this, but this is a scientific fact. If you cry in front of year 9s, you will die. So I was like... I was doing this. No, don't do that. Eventually she goes, actually, Bron, can you help me? I was like, yes! I stand up. I go, Noah, get out. And he goes, no. And I was like, fuck, that's my only trick. It's my only weapon. As to and fro between Noah and I, to and fro. Eventually... he gets up and he storms out, but I've embarrassed him. I've accidentally embarrassed him. This isn't good, okay? Because he's furious now. He stands on the other side of a glass door. He rests his pimply, greasy forehead against it and he just stares me down. The whole class can feel it. 45 minutes of this. And in this 45 minutes, no one is doing any of their work because, one, they don't understand it, and two, they are terrified of what he's going to do. Because everyone in this class has been tormented by this kid, the biggest bully in the school. There's so many of his victims in the class looking at him, looking back at me, looking at him, looking back at me. The student teacher is now just doing circles, just tiny little circles, just walking around in circles, regretting everything she's ever done in her entire life. And rightly so, you've chosen the wrong job, girl. Get out the fuck out of here. And I'm just kind of looking at her, making sure she doesn't self-harm, and looking at these kids, being like, everything's fine. I'm sitting at the back of the class getting stared down by a psychopath going, yeah, teachers get paid enough. And then eventually he gets sick of this and he opens the door and he steps in and the temperature changes because everyone in the room isn't sure what he's going to do. He's one of those kids that you don't know what he's capable of. He storms over to me. He's one of those huge ones. He storms over to me. He puts a hand on either side of my laptop. He stares me down and he goes, "You are an ugly fucking cunt." And I was like, ugly? What were you going to call her? I didn't say that. Of course I didn't say that. It was so much weighing on this moment. I had to get it right because all these kids in the classroom who needed to see this guy lose something. I had a student teacher with hope in her heart needing to see that the cool kid wasn't always going to win. I had to get this moment right. So I looked at him and I said, "Noah, I know you're trying to save face, but that is not a face you can save." I said, "Noah, you're angry. You're really angry. I can see how angry you are. I know you're angry. I've taught kids like you before. I went to school with kids like you. My mum went to school with kids like you. My kids will go to school with kids like you. You're angry." And that is because mainstream schooling is designed for one type of learner who comes from a certain family dynamic, who has enough emotional security to deal with school. And you've got none of those things, do you, mate? So you feel a bit dumb, and you are actually a bit dumb, Noel, which is awful for you because school celebrates kids who are academically gifted and humiliates the kids who are not. So every day you feel a bit embarrassed, which makes you angrier, and then you go home and you consume hours and hours and hours of misogynistic social media, and then you come back to school and you have to listen to me, a woman. Are you fucking serious? As if you're going to listen to me, because society doesn't really respect women, let alone women in positions of authority. So every day I am pushing shit uphill every fucking day with kids like you who stand behind the saying, "Boys will be boys." I'm so fucking tired of it, Noah. I'm so tired of it. But I don't hate you because you are a child. At the end of the day, you are just a giant, awful child drenched in Lynx Africa. I don't hate you, mate. I do not hate you, mate. But I do go to bed every night knowing that very soon you won't be a child anymore. Very soon you'll be an adult and you'll be the bloke at the pub screaming at the woman who won't fuck him. And it will be a Christmas miracle if you do not go to jail. And if you don't go to jail, it's because there are enough teachers in your life to teach you what is right and what is wrong. And will you thank us for that? No, why would you? It's a thankless profession and teachers are leaving in droves, but you don't care about that. Why would you care about that? You are too angry. I can see how angry you are. I can feel how angry you are, Noah, and I know why. I know the real reason why. It is because I remind you a little bit of your mother, and when you were 4, she didn't fucking marry you! But I didn't say that. Because teachers aren't ever allowed to say what they want to say. I just looked at him and I said, "Noah, what I am trying to say is that you..." Thank you so much. Thank you, Melbourne. Thank you again. Thank you so much for coming. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause? You truly were a dream audience.